volatile presence.
All right, it is Wednesday. It is just a little bit afternoon. We're close to on time. Close to on time is usually the way I run this show. It's time for the Life Radio Show. I'm your host, Don Smith. I'm going to go ahead and we'll just start right off and introduce the two gentlemen that are in the studio with me. Dave Moore is back. Champ back in the do you still go by Champ?
It's still the stage name.
Still the stage
yeah.
name. Okay. Well, he's sitting across from me and off to the side because we have a broken mic where the other guest usually sits. I'm not sure what they get up to in here. Well, that one kept going limp. Oh. And with lack of Viagra, they just decided to detach it. Because sometimes you reach a certain age, and you might as well just try to replace it because it's not gonna stay where it should be. My other guest sitting off to the side of me, which is going to keep causing me to turn around and talk away from the mic. So my volume's going to go up and down. Jaja Smith. Smith. Hey.
Hey, brother.
Good man. Yeah. No relation, I don't think.
Never say never.
Never say. You never know. That is absolutely true. It could be somewhere down the line.
I see similarities.
Yeah. It wouldn't surprise me.
Right.
So, what are we doing here? No, I'm kidding.
What are we talking about?
I want to start off telling a little story about because we're all actors. Mm-hmm. Sort of. I'm sort of an actor. No, I've been working on a show lately. It's a secret show with Henrik. I can't say too much about it. But the weekend before this past weekend, we were doing some filming. It was my first time on set for this project, and it was actually we were filming my death scene.
Ooh.
Which was kind of cool because here I am. I'm made up in character as this, at the end of it, I'm just pale as can be because I was scared to death is how I died. And so I'm just
spoiling something. Yeah,
spoiling something. No.
Right.
It's nobody listens to this. It's okay. But I was wearing that. It was kind of cold out that day, so I was wearing on the way home. I get in the car and I'm wearing my it was this black trench coat or big overcoat, big wool overcoat that comes down almost to my feet. So I'm looking like the Undertaker walking out of here. And I get home, and rather than use my key to open the door, I knock on the door to make my wife look out the window to see the Undertaker standing there in his long black coat.
Hair down over the face.
She was a little mad at me.
Yeah,
creepy.
long conversation.
Last weekend, we're finishing up this scene, and we're running, basically several hours, about 7 hours. I'm running through the woods in the cold, in the mud. I get home, I'm covered with mud. I got fake blood all over my hand from a character injury. Ooh. And I get home tired as can be, and the wife says, "I'm going to go somewhere nice for dinner." It's like I'm covered in fake blood and mud. We want to go somewhere nice for dinner. So I said, okay. I hop in the shower real quick. I wash as much of the mud off as I can. We get kind of dressed up. We go out. I'm wearing this long black coat again. We're standing in line waiting to get a table at this Italian restaurant. Yeah. And I look down, I notice there's still a bunch of fake blood on my hand that I missed, because that stuff's kind of hard to get off. Yeah. So I go into the men's room, and I'm washing this fake blood. It's all on my knuckles. I'm washing this off in the sink. I got this big, long black trench coat on, and I'm starting to think of how this looks in an Italian restaurant of all places. Fellow walks into the bathroom, looks down at my hand in the sink where I'm washing this blood off. I look up in the mirror. He looks up, and our eyes meet through the mirror, and I'm keeping as straight a face as I can, and he just nods, back slowly out of the room, and closes the door.
Couldn't have been any better.
It was so hard to keep a straight face as he was backing out. I was like, I'm going to lose it any second.
Hurry up, get out of here.
As soon as the door closed, I started laughing. I'm thinking, he's going to go tell his wife, we got to get out of here.
The mafia's in this restaurant.
Yep, this is a very authentic Italian place, I tell you. So much fun. I love fake blood stories because you tell these to people that don't act. Mm-hmm. And they can't believe that this is something that happens to you.
Really can happen.
One of the other scenes I was doing, it had been a couple years ago with Henrik. I was wearing a suit and tie, and at one point we were doing like an overly bloody, almost like a Quentin Tarantino Kill Bill scene where I'm just like covered in fake blood. Well, when I get ready to leave, I throw all my blood-soaked clothes in the back of my truck. Well, when I get home that night, I thought I took them all out of there, and I got to be at work at 7 o'clock the next morning. Right. So I'm driving to work in the morning, and I keep seeing something in the rearview mirror flapping. I'm like, what the hell is that? I get to work, and I look, and a blood-soaked tie is hanging off the back of the truck. I'm like, that would have been great if that flew off and landed on a police cruiser.
Good luck explaining that one.
You got yourself in some situations.
Absolutely.
All acting.
Yes,
All
yes,
from
yeah.
Gotta love it.
That's the fun of it, isn't it?
It is.
Who else gets to have those experiences?
Fake blood on you, looks real.
Oh, yeah.
Get away with murder.
Oh.
That's how you get away with it. I'm an actor.
That's how OJ got away with it. He was
Twice.
He was he was just acting.
She was just the best actor out of the two.
Exactly. Yeah. That's she. Yep. She was very committed to the role. That's what it was.
Wow.
All right, we've gone off the rails very early on the show, which is not it's not a record by any stretch of the imagination. We'll go ahead. We'll go ahead and we'll let you guys talk for a minute and tell some of your stories. I know you got some projects you wanted to mention, Dave, and Jaja's involved in those.
Yeah. I was on the show back in July, so thank you for having me again. And
Hey, no problem.
And Jaja, we were part of a project with Zach Gaynor and Ryan Caney called The Problem of Evil, and that's what I had talked about before. I played a character, Anthony, who he kind of was one of those guys that didn't understand a situation. He was just trying to get out. Like I said, it was something I don't want to spoil or say too much. The guys, I talked to the directors, and they kind of told me that they're in the process of scoring the film at the moment, and they are finished filming, but they're planning for it to go into film festivals fall of 2018 and then summer of 2019. So I got that information, and there was a scene where Jaja's character actually got to frighten me, and it was pretty. Yeah, it was one of those where it really startled me. It's a good feeling when you can always make it look real on camera, right?
Well, yeah, absolutely. Just like the fake blood.
The fake blood, yeah. What
real.
we started with. So,
and that was what was the name of it again?
The Problem of Evil.
Problem of Evil. Yeah. We
talked about that. Yep, a couple months ago. So now I just wanted to keep it updated in the loop about what kind of just to look for and just kind of how the project's going. Keep it updated.
Is this feature length or is this a short?
Yeah, it's
length?
featured. Okay. It's featured length. I think that they're probably looking at the script, if I remember correctly, because I've seen so many scripts since then. It was probably 75 pages or so. So probably looking at an hour and a half, hour 20 minutes with this film.
Yeah, it's a good runtime.
So,
yeah, it's easier to sell an hour and a half, hour and 20 minutes. Yeah. The one I was in over the summer ended up being like an hour and 59 minutes because he had to cut it down.
Oh, really?
It was, I guess, finished. It was almost 3 hours long because originally it was supposed to be a two-parter. And a lot of this is for 6 Feet Below Hell with William Lee, which is still out in Redbox. If you haven't seen 6 Feet Below Hell, get out to Redbox tonight or through the weekend, rent it and watch it. You'll love it. If not, I'll give you your $1.
It's a Christmas gift, right?
It's a Christmas zombie movie. So
it doesn't get any better than that.
Exactly. But no, that was supposed to be a two-parter, but he wasn't able to sell it to Redbox as a two-parter.
Oh, okay.
So he had to cut it down because one of the scenes for that, I get to run through the woods in the mud a lot. Nice. But one of the scenes for that, we spent 9 hours on set, and I'm running through the woods in the mud uphill, killing myself. I about broke my foot. I was walking with a limp for like the next 3 weeks after shooting this, and every bit of that footage had to be cut.
Oh, man.
You all owe me a new foot.
So much fun, though. Well, what about you, Jaja? How long you been acting?
So I've been in the acting game for about 6 years now.
Oh, okay.
Prior to working with Dave, I was in a web series called Quarter Water Juices. That's how I got my start in the industry. So this film is a bit of an urban opera. The focus was the story of the director's life with a little bit of a twist, a little bit of a darkness to it. Got a little bit of a spin on it. I played the character Anthony. I was the older brother to Joey, and Anthony, he kind of had a bit of a womanizer aspect to him, where he was a player, but behind all that, he was still the older brother to his brother. When his brother needed him, he was there because their dad was gone, so he had to do something. And then post that, I got into touch with Dave, and The Problem of Evil. It was a last minute thing. Yeah. He said, "You know what? I need somebody, and I think you can pull it out." I said, "Here goes nothing."
The original actor that the directors and those guys had, I think he was from like Pittsburgh or the Northern Ohio area, and then he couldn't make it down. And I said, "Well, I got somebody who I think could maybe even bring you something that you're not expecting. Bring more to the table." So that's when I gave Jaja the ring and More Than Willing. And then the directors were telling me, they were like, "Thank you for bringing him." Like what we saw in the script, he brought it more to life than we could have wanted. So
that's always good. Yeah. The last minute replacement ends up working out a lot better, because I've had that happen on stuff that I've worked on.
Yeah.
Where and that's the beauty of independent film, is always you got to try to stay somewhat fluid, because things are always changing. Right. I do a lot of work with William Lee, who directed 6 Feet Below Hell, and that's I have some friends that are getting involved with him now, and that's the first thing I tell them is never print the script,
because it will always change.
Yeah, a couple days before you're to be on set, go on and print your scenes up.
Yeah,
never print the script, because it will change time and time again.
Right.
Because I learned that the first film I was on with him. Is I printed the script the first day. I was so excited, and like 2 days later, he's like, "Revised script." I was like, "Really?" So I printed that one. Then he's like, a couple days later, revised the script. And I was like, "I'm not doing this anymore."
We just lived this a little while ago, Dave.
Yeah, I just printed up 150 pages of useless script.
Yeah.
You owe me $10.50.
So yeah, that's you always have to. 6 Feet Below Hell. Again, that first, I keep going back to that, because there's so many things that happened on that set and on that shoot that are just kind of normal for independent film anyway, because that's how the character I was in that movie, I was not cast as that. I was cast as another character.
Interesting.
The guy that was cast as that character backed out within 24 hours of having to be on set. So that kind of left William in a situation where he had to either try to write that character out last minute, or try to get somebody in, or reschedule. Which those are 3 things you don't want to do. Yeah. So I got a hold of him as soon as I saw that this guy backed out, and I said, "Hey, my character, I'm not filming for 3 weeks. I'll go ahead and step in as this character and give you 3 weeks to recast my spot." Because you got to stay,
right.
You got to stay moving.
You're on a schedule.
Mm-hmm.
And we had so much fun with me as Reggie, because just like a lot of independent film, we got on set, we had no access to the set, we lost our location because the person that was supposed to let us in was actually passed out drunk inside and didn't unlock the door.
Oh,
so,
wow. That sounds like that.
So we scrambled, and 2 hours later, we have a new filming location. So we pick everything back up. We moved to the new location. Still finished on time that day with everything we wanted to get done. The problem was the script kind of relied on being in that other location. So we had to ad-lib my entire scene. Which we had so much fun doing that he went back later and kept and because my character was supposed to have like one scene and he was dead.
Oh.
Well, he changed it and brought me back later in the film.
Nice.
And I come back at the end and get one of the main bad guys.
See, that's when the revised script worked out in your favor.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I wasn't even supposed to be that character.
Actors
so
freedom.
yeah. We had to, When I love ad-libbing stuff. That's just. Do you get to ad-lib a lot when you or are your directors pretty much stay on script?
Go ahead, John.
For The Problem of Evil, I would say they gave me a lot of freedom of the script. There they had certain parameters and things that I had to hit, but for the most part, they gave me freedom to make it my own.
That's always
which was
nice.
cool, and I was like, I appreciate that because again, I got casted for this the day before we were shooting, so I was like, this is really cool, and like Dave was saying, it really worked out for the better. You know, it became something that I can use on the side for myself, and then for their project, it ended up being exactly what they wanted it to be, if not a little bit more. So being able to kind of free yourself from the script, but and still hitting the same points, I mean, there's nothing better than.
Right. Yeah, because it's having the freedom to, of course, the ad-libbing a lot of times you get.
Yeah.
Express yourself.
Yeah, that's liberating and frightening at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
That's for sure.
'Cause
what do I say?
Yeah.
What can I say?
whenever for like me, I will do the scene as like they had it written, and then something will pop in my head during the scene, and I say, hey, when we do the second take, can I try something, see if you like it, whatever. And probably 99% of the time they're fine with that, and then they've let me do it, and then they say it fit with the character, like we're going to use that take. So I think it does kind of vary, but I like to be able to kind of bring something new to the character.
Right.
And like we always say, the actor can bring something else to the table that kind of surprises the director, and it could be good for the audience, and that's what the overall goal is. So
yeah, I've worked with people that want you to stick totally to the script, and that's
I had one of those myself.
yeah. And then to the opposite end, I'm involved with a couple fellows that do TBTV, which is out on local access, which is a lot of fun. It's a sketch comedy show. Tyler Wise and Brandon Barry put that out, and it's a lot of fun. But the character I get to be, when I first got there, they said, well, here's somewhat of a script, but so long as you hit this point and this point, you can do whatever you want. So the first one I did, I kind of went with what they had on there. But then the next one, I didn't know. They wanted to do, if you go to TBTV, if you search that on YouTube, and you'll find it on there. It's episode 101 where I do, it was called Shacks. Which was, I played homeless Jerry, and this was their version of Cribs.
Oh, okay.
But it was Shacks, where I had basically broken into somebody's garage, and that's where I was living. So, well, they told me there were two things that they wanted from that scene, and I was like, okay. And they only wanted that. They didn't tell me they were only going to have it like do like 35 to 45 seconds of this scene. Well, what happened was I got to the location. I started looking around. I was in the garage for about 15 minutes. Absolutely nothing scripted. After about 15 minutes looking through the garage, deciding what I wanted to do, I said, okay, let's shoot. And they followed me around that garage for 45 minutes, almost nonstop, with me just in character being an idiot. And
I'm going to have to check this out.
all they wanted was like 30 to 45 seconds. It ended up being like a 5-minute skit in their show. So that kind of thing was a little nuts, but because that's the total opposite end.
Yeah.
Those are the best times.
You made it work.
Yeah.
You made it work.
But that's my recurring character on that show is Homeless Jerry. I did another one where we did a cooking show called Surviving with Homeless Jerry. And that was I love being able to ad lib and just be in character doing random crazy things.
Right.
And that's a lot of fun, is just trying to stay in character.
Yeah.
Getting to step away from yourself and be somebody else for a little bit.
Yeah. That's acting.
Hey. Simple joys.
Yeah.
When I was 5, they gave me a baboon heart. When I was 23, you tore it apart. It didn't hurt me, it didn't mean a thing. But somewhere there's a baboon, and he's crying He's crying, how's that make you feel? Well, you can tell me I'm fat, I'm dumb, I'm bad and bare, but it won't hurt me, it'll hurt the baboon instead. And don't come crying to me when Peter knocks on your door. You deserve what you get, you primate hating whore. You're a whore. And those tears that are falling down my face, they're for the baboon. He loved you very much, and he hopes you change your mind soon. He misses your legs, and he misses your lips. He misses your touch, and he misses your tss, especially your tss. Did I mention your tss? But he hopes you change your mind soon. He hopes you change your mind soon. I hope you change your mind soon. I meant to say he hopes you change your mind soon. But remember one thing, as long as I live, you can't hurt me 'cause you got a baboon heart. You can hit on it and tear it apart. You can do just whatever you wanna do. You'll only be hurting that poor baboon, 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 baboon. But you still won't care.
There's a reason they call them lazy Sundays. There's nothing better than sitting around and enjoying the comforts of a good book. But what book should that be? Well, every Sunday, Eventide brings you The Bookseller, hosted by Jessica Gillen. Each week, Jessica breaks down a different book and tells you everything you need to know before cracking it open and getting lost in a whole new world. Tune in every Sunday for The Bookseller with Jessica Gillen, brought to you by Eventide Entertainment.
Hey, I almost missed it. We came back on the air, and I almost missed it. We just almost had the radio silence, and that's
a no-no.
Oh man, I'm ashamed of myself. I've never made a mistake on this show before. That was my first one.
Hey, happens to the best of us, right?
Within the last 5 minutes, that was the first one. Because we weren't on the air. We were just playing a song.
One job.
Fair enough.
All right. Well, do we have some news stories? Do we want to cover some news stories, or do you guys got more films you're working on? Or
there is actually a project that we are.
Well,
really
that's better
involved
than news stories. So we'll go on with that.
It's called Eagle's Eclipse, and it is an independent film that Jaja and myself that we are a part of with a lot of talented folks, and it's a vigilante film, so something a little different. So it's I play the character Dwayne and one of the heroes, and I'll let you speak.
So first and foremost, let's not discredit the fact that Dave here wrote this film.
Oh, okay. So we know how he got cast.
He is the producer, so let's give him kudos here first.
Yeah, we know how he got cast.
It
always helps. It always helps.
It does.
So myself, I play the role of Xavier, who happens to be something of a sibling to Dwayne.
Yeah,
and,
we're brothers. We're brothers. Can't you tell?
So something of a sibling.
I know all you people on the radio can see that we look like brothers.
Right. Yeah. You can hear it, though, right?
Maybe, yeah.
But Jaja and I have the same last name.
You got me there.
So I guess by affiliation, we both go to the same family reunion. And,
yeah.
Same old. And then I also play another one of the heroes that work side by side to Dwayne's.
Yeah. So that's where the name comes from, Eagle and Eclipse. Those are the names of our characters.
Oh, okay. So you're like
Team Eclipse.
superheroes.
Yeah, we're like, I don't want to say Batman and Robin, but we're the same. We work together, and
is this like a superhero movie?
It is. If you want, I brought the bio with me so I could read that. If that makes it easier.
Much more.
I don't know. Okay. You just don't want to be Robin.
You're right.
I don't blame you.
I'm not rocking it.
And when I wrote it,
there's something wrong with that whole dynamic.
When I wrote it with my acting coach, I'll give a shout out to Steve Francia. Check out Cincinnati Actor Studio. He helped me write it, and how we talked earlier about the revision process and how you keep going on and keep revising. That's what happened, and he really helped me to limit the revising. And that's
Lots
a good
of paper
thing
on that project.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, with the process of the film, what's been really cool working with Jaja, we filmed 2 days so far. We start at the beginning of December, and Spencer Kerrigan is actually the director. Brought him on board. He's really excited about it. He's done a really phenomenal job bringing everybody kind of on board. We've worked together well as a team, and with Jaja, we've been really like taking this role seriously, where we have a choreographer so we can learn. We want to really learn. We don't want to find stunt doubles.
Right.
We want to be
do
these
the
people.
actual fight scenes. And,
exactly.
On the resume,
right.
For ourselves.
And when we do our workouts, our lifting and stuff like that, I've been looking at a lot of course, Ben Affleck's Batman workouts, because I've been trying to bulk. And you don't like bulking if you haven't been bulking before, but if it's for the character, I want to look big on camera.
But most of my bulk is in the midsection right now. I do a lot of sit-ups to get all this muscle.
Christmas needs Santa, man. I'm telling you.
Well, this is all muscle. This is
the
I'm
one pack.
Fattening up for a roll.
I like it.
It's a one pack. It's like a keg.
I'm trying to stay away from the midsection. Thanksgiving hurt me a little bit, and then Christmas coming up. But that's been the joy for me, is really becoming the character and really trying to learn it. the one thing I've really been trying to get down on is the vigilante's voice, because I don't want to sound like Batman. I want to have my own voice, but I want to be able to separate the two from...
Sounding like Batman is fine so long as it's not the Christian Bale Batman. Because, yeah. Well, he's asthmatic, and I don't like asthmatic superheroes. I mean, it's nothing against people with asthma. It's just they're harder to believe as a superhero.
Let alone understand. That's
right.
Batman. So that's what we've been doing, and sorry, I've said a lot.
No, I mean, it's a good time. So for Dave's character, he's been bulking, to whereas mine, I've been leaning out a lot. I'm like, there's got to be some kind of a contrast between the two of us. So not only will it be in the midst of our character, but it'll be in our physical dynamic.
Right.
And so while we're sitting here playing with, ideas of how we're going to sound, to how we're going to walk, to, I mean, literally, it's really cool to just kind of have the freedom that Dave's given us to really make our characters who they are from the ground up.
So you're bulking up and you're slimming down, so your special move is you're going to pick him up and throw him like a lawn dart.
I had to make it easy on him. I was like, Jaja, you're like 220 pounds. It might be a little difficult.
Yeah.
And then like taking the hit to the ground might be a little more painful on my end, being a little heavier. So
yeah. No, we've really been working hard. Like I said, I wrote this script in August, and then it just started moving film production beginning of December. So shout out to the cast and crew. They've been outstanding so far, and we're planning to submit this film in film festivals too. So you wrote it. What's it like being deeply involved as a character when you wrote it, but somebody else directing it? Are there arguments about what you were going for? Are you able to step back and let the director just do his job? That was what was so cool, is that when I wrote it, of course, I presented it to Jaja, my acting coach, first, and got their opinion. And we all had the same kind of idea. Superheroes, of course, they are corny. Like, we know that's what they are. But we wanted this to be the Dark Knight type of feel. We wanted it to be a serious thing where it wouldn't get made fun of.
Right. You didn't want a campy
superhero
with a goofy catchphrase and
all that.
Yeah.
So that's what we went for. The director read it, and Spencer, he loved it from the start. He had the same vision as me. Sure, when we're on set, like he mentioned something, I said, that's exactly what I was thinking. But when we talk on set, sure, we have other ideas. But the good thing, like I said, about the teamwork, we all listen to one another's ideas, and we come up with what we think is best for the film.
Right.
That's like we say, it doesn't matter what the shot was here, as long as what goes down is what's best to show what we're presenting. So it's weird to have someone else directing the film, kind of, but I do trust everybody in the cast and crew. Jaja was the casting director, and so he found phenomenal people for it. I like to give responsibilities to other people and watch us all connect as one. So.
Right. Well, that's the neat thing about filmmaking. It's a collaboration of everybody's efforts and everybody's ideas and thoughts, because each actor has their own concept of the character, and so I was just wondering how, because I know with me, if it was something I wrote, I'd be I'd have a hard time letting go and let somebody else direct it.
It's also like being a vigilante. Like I said, I'm trying to go for that dark feel. I don't want to go out of character to try to direct either. Like, you know what I mean? That back and forth, if it needs to be done, of course. But I like to really make sure when you see who I am on screen, you believe that's who I am. And I think having a director makes that job 1,000 times easier now for me as an actor.
Yeah. If you wrote it and tried to act and direct, that would have its own challenges.
Yeah.
Because sometimes too much control isn't good for a film either.
Sure, yeah. We've seen that happen.
But it's good you have a director that you trust enough to put your baby in his hands and say, here,
let's make this happen. Yeah.
That's good. That's good to have that kind of trust.
Yeah. Well, I trust everybody, the cast and crew. So that's a big shout out to you guys. Thank you, Jaja, for being part of the film, for leaning up, as we were saying, all the sacrifices, the good foods that you can't eat at the moment.
My heart health also thanks you for it.
That's part of his health program.
Gets us ready for the road to Hollywood.
There you go. Yeah. Because you got to change all the time for
right.
that.
You never like this. This is a stepping stone to when we make it as established actors out in the industry, to where when they call for these things, we're already doing this for no money. So to do it for money, we have all the extra incentive.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's what's great about even with independent films. Occasionally, there are some that pay you a little bit, and that's what's so great about it. It's like, I was gonna do it for free, but okay.
Yeah,
this is a nice surprise.
Yeah, wow. There's a paycheck with this. I wasn't expecting that at all.
It's like Christmas in the summer.
and that's the thing with that's the thing with acting in general. It's a love for it. It's. I mean, do we are? Yeah, it'd be nice to be paid big money for it, but
we do it because you love it.
Yeah, would we do it any less if we never got paid a dime? No, we'd still do it.
Yeah,
the same amount of intensity.
We just have to work side jobs that we hated.
That's why we serve tables. And,
I'm just kidding. I love my job.
Speak for myself.
No, that's the thing. Working full time is really hard because the comedy thing and everything that's going on. It's just so hard to balance. Yeah, well, I have no balance. I'm way off balance.
We're totally right side right now.
I don't even know which side anymore. I go from one side to the other. But it's good to have somebody you trust and have a cast and crew you trust. That's going to make for a good movie. Yeah. Because that shows in the final product, I think.
We even had a table read, which is a really cool experience. It was one of those to where, you always aren't sure if the entire group is going to make it. But, I mean, literally from top to bottom, our cast, made it. Some of us came late. But we all got there.
He's talking about himself there. I want to throw it out there. Go ahead.
It happens to the best of us. Yeah. But, it's just really cool to see everyone to bring their character to the table read. So it's not like you're just, reading words on a page. But one of our cast members is an 8-year-old, Adrian Gordy. And at this moment, he is truly, he was the best at the table read. Yeah. I mean, he truly brought his character, and this is his first
bit
gig
of acting.
ever.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
So, shout out to Adrian. He did a beautiful job, and for us working next to him, it gives us that little extra to do even better. So,
yeah, because you don't want to be showed up
by an
8-year-old kid. That's never good.
To piggyback off of that too, like working with people, I think I've worked with pets before, acting wise. I've worked with children, and they're the hardest things to work with. I love children, but.
Things.
Sorry, thanks.
No, I agree.
They are, and there's a scene. We did all of Adrian's scenes earlier in December, and when I tell you how ready he was with his lines, the way he presented it, he brought something new as an actor to the way his dialogue, and man, like God bless his heart, that made our job so much easier.
Oh, yeah.
And he lost his attention span a couple of times there. But besides that, he really brought it, and that was my biggest fear, is writing a young boy into the film. But he did it. So now we're past that. Now it's on to the other. Yeah, now it's on us. Now we got to perform like him.
Now you got to step it up.
Right.
Now, back when I was performing theater, live theater, I had to work with a couple of preteen boys.
Oh boy!
And I walked away from that production saying I will never work with kids again, because and the bad thing was the one kid, I wanted to kill him. I wanted to grab him by his throat and shake him until he was done. But his grandmother was in the cast as well.
Couldn't let that go down.
And I had words with her. I had words with her too. I think at one point I said, if you don't whoop his butt, I'm gonna. Because we're getting ready to go on. I'm in a suit and tie. I'm in character. I'm backstage. And he's got a mouthful of brownie and comes up to me and goes, pfft.
Oh, man.
Oh.
Was your character evil?
And then he took off running, but I had a handful of hair. He didn't make it very far. And then his grandma starts in on me. It's like, well, you need to do something about it because I'm going to kill him if he does this again. We're ready to go on stage. Now I got chocolate on my shirt, on my tie, and in my face. I'm going to kill him. And no, I will never work with. I really don't want to work with children after that.
You're right for his grandma.
Exactly. Tell you what, I'll pick his skinny butt up and beat you to death with it for not beating his. How about that?
How about that?
Yes.
Oh, man.
So I won't work with kids or their grandparents.
Understandable. Brownie on a suit would make me do it too.
Just a bad experience right there. Now, the other kid that was in it, he was actually able to act. The one that did that with the brownie, he couldn't act his way out.
Right.
He was bad. The other kid was okay. He was just, of course, both of them together. I just wanted to smack their heads together about 18, 20,000 times.
Yeah. There are some that comes natural too at such a young age, and there are some that just couldn't care less.
Filming would probably be a little different because you could do more takes. You can take them behind the scenes and smack them in the head, calm them down a little bit, and then you can try to film. But on live theater, you can't beat them on stage.
No.
That's funny because I know that live theater it is one take, but Adrian, I think he messed up once, and it was his second take, and it was something simple as he didn't walk far enough. He didn't mess up at all either. That was the great thing. He did not mess up.
See, that young man's got a future then. Yeah.
He's in acting classes now. So
good.
It was interesting before the day of his shoot. So his acting class is an hour before ours. So I came early once and I saw him in there with his acting coach working on our script. I was like, of all the things that you could have been working on, he was working on his lines. And, his coach said, hey, would you come in and sit in and, read your lines with him and make it work? And I was like, this is so cool to see how dedicated he was to this project.
Well, that's good. That's good because a lot of times, even on set, a lot of times you'll have people that they think they're ready and they're off screwing around. Mm-hmm. If somebody's putting their trust in me as an actor, I don't think I'm a phenomenal actor. But I'm going to do everything I can to do. And when I'm not currently filming, if there's nothing else going on, I'm going over my lines. If we're getting ready for a scene, I'm going to grab the other actor. We're going to start going over lines because that's how you present yourself as a professional individual that actually wants to do something correctly rather than somebody that's just there to goof around. Because I was on one set that they were filming 3 weeks before I was on set. Mm-hmm. And in 3 weeks, they got practically no footage done because it was filming at night after a bar closes. So there's about probably 3 of the people in the cast would get there early, and they'd get drunk, and by the time the bar closed, they'd be too drunk to shoot. And that's
horrific.
Yeah, and that was a bad thing is because they were the director's friends.
Yeah.
And they were the people that owned the bar. They were their friends. So it's not like you can fire them from it. But at the same time, you have to for the production or it's never going to get done. And incidentally, that film never got finished.
Don't drink and act, ladies and gentlemen. Don't drink and act.
That's the same advice for stand-up comedy. It doesn't help.
No.
Because when I first started, I'd have a couple beers before going up, and then one time I had way too many. They kept putting the show back. They kept postponing it and putting it back several hours so that by the time I actually got on there, I had about 10, 12 beers in me.
Oh,
and I didn't do terrible. It's just I got about halfway through and I started to repeat the same thing. And it was a cancer benefit where I was performing. And I started to repeat a joke I'd already gone over, and I said, "Oh, I'm sorry. This is a cancer benefit, not Alzheimer's." And
you made it work.
That was how I ended my set.
You made it work
somehow.
Yeah,
because you can get away with that at an Alzheimer's.
Yeah. Right.
You can have a 5-minute set and just do it 3 times. They think you got 15 minutes of material. You're good.
Yeah.
That's not right.
That's great.
But no, it's always good to work with people that are professional in what they do and take it seriously because again, it's your baby. You wrote this. This is your.
That's actually what I told Spencer before he became the director, and what I told the cast members too. I said, look, we're all friends. We all do, like, the first thing is to have fun, of course. Second is to make a great film. I was like, no, we're not going to be strict the whole time, but I want to run this as smoothly and in the right direction as possible. We're not here to joke around, do this and that. We're making a film. So you got to have the friend level, but you got to be able to bring it to the professional level. And I feel like there's not an in-between. So right now I'm at the friendly level. When me and Jaja are on set, we're both professional. We're telling each other, hey, try this, do this. You did this and that. Did you notice? It's all about bringing the film to life. So,
and these are the things that we got to enjoy when we worked on the problem of evil. Was we would watch each other because at times we would be on set together, but there would also be times where I would stand off and it would be his scene, and because of Cincinnati Actor Studio, we were able to pick up on little things like our isms, for lack of a better word, and I would see Dave do his piece, and I'd say, "Hey, you did your thing." He's like, "Oh, shoot, sorry, thanks."
It helped me correct it. Hopefully that's the take they use, the corrected take.
Right. We'll find out here next fall.
But
that another thing with film is you always have to wait to see how it was.
Yep.
Live theater, everything's instantaneous. You screw up, you know it.
Right. It's always good when your cast and crew are willing to, give you the constructive criticism to make the scene even better.
Right.
Because
constructive being the key word.
Oh, man.
Criticism, that's not always a good thing.
Yeah.
You sucked. What?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
well,
you.
how do I make it not suck as much?
Figure it
That's
out.
what we need.
Help me help this.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Constructive criticism, and that's most people that offer criticism forget the constructive part.
Right.
They just want to tell you how bad something is without bothering to say, here's what would make it better.
Right. Mm. So wait, Dave, you were going to read the bio for Eagles Eclipse, if I'm not mistaken.
Would you like?
Yeah, well, go ahead. We got a couple minutes before we got to take a break.
So this is the bio. You guys can we're going to start posting behind the scenes things too on Facebook, so you can follow that at Eagles Eclipse. So the bio is: after years of defending his city, Walter can no longer be the masked vigilante. Passing down the mantle to his two sons, Dwayne and Xavier, the two continue finding ways to protect their city from those seeking to take it. So it's a generic bio, but more to come.
Dum dum dum.
Yeah, it's exciting. It'll be.
Yeah, that's. I'm hooked now.
Okay.
Sorry, I was checking a message.
No.
I still heard you.
Yeah, I heard you.
Still.
I was just,
No, it's fine.
That's all right. No, it sounds like it'll be a lot of fun. I can't wait to get to see some of it.
Keep you in a loop. I'll probably try to come back on the show when it's getting closer to finishing. Yeah.
All right. I wonder what we're being filmed, or if she's just. I think she's lost. It's okay.
I mean, I know it's cute, but I appreciate it.
It happens. I'm not used to people filming at the window when there's not a giant panda in here. There's. Last week, Mike Canistero was in here as a local comic, and he does a character named Pandy Kaufman.
Oh.
And he is actually in a panda suit. And when he comes on the radio as Panda Kaufman, he has the head on, which is this big, giant panda head, and he sticks the microphone up underneath it, so it gets the same echo as it does when he's on stage.
Mm.
So it's just funny, the reactions of people walking past the window when there's this big panda head staring back. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun having you. We're going to have to take a break. Do you have any social media, any website, anything you want to throw out for yourself or the movies coming up? Or
yeah, I mean, the Eagles Eclipse on Facebook, like I just said, go ahead and like that, follow us there, and then I'm still Champ Moore on Facebook, and then on Instagram I am Champ_Moore. You can follow me for funny videos and just to kind of catch up, see what I'm doing. The book that I talked about last time, I'm finding a publisher right now, so stay in tune with that also.
Jaja Smith, Jaja.Smith on your Instagram. And then, of course, if you want to follow me on Snapchat for the latest updates on behind the scenes for Eagles Eclipse, that is JSmeezy513. That was back from my rap days when I did a couple shows in Mad Frog. So,
we'll leave that buried.
Now,
I still got bars.
how do you spell Smeezy?
SMEEZY.
Okay. Just as you would think.
It's stuck for a little while.
Smeezy, you never know.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're sneezing, but it's all good.
Smeezy. Sorry. I got to get a Kleenex, and we got to take a break.
It'll change.
Yeah. Well, you got to get.
You
don't
try.
Like it. Just keep it that way.
Try again. You know, the same old same.
Well, thank you, Don, for having us on the show
Definitely.
again.
It's been a
good
pleasure.
time.
It's good to meet you, Jaja. Good
Likewise.
to have you back, Dave.
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing some of your projects out there.
We'll keep you in the loop, and we'll definitely be back. We
Absolutely,
will.
yeah. Hopefully they don't fire me at the end of this. At the end of this episode, you never know.
Stay tuned.
Got Holly coming on. Holly Shock's coming on next, and she can be a little. She brings out the worst in me, actually, which is so much fun.
Right. Never a dull moment.
Exactly. All right, we're going to take a little break, and I'm going to kick these guys out, and we'll be back here shortly with the legendary Holly Shock.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Dad? Son, come home with me.
Visit the secret panda village?
Sleep like a panda. Eat like a panda.
I knew I wasn't eating up to my potential.
It's not always easy being a dad, but it's always worth it.
Let me teach you how to belly gong.
Awesome!
Take time to be a dad today.
Thanks, Dad.
Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov to learn more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
To buy your home, you became a house hunting ace. Learned about loans, scoured neighborhoods, and asked the right questions. If you manage that, you can get your retirement plan on track. Visiting aceyourretirement.org can help. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
The average time a resume spends on an HR manager's desk is 7 seconds, and most of them are tossed aside. Now imagine if one of those resumes belonged to Yasmin, who was
living in a shelter, juggling 3 jobs. I had to be resilient. That's something that you can't teach.
We rely so much on a resume, yet it could never tell the full story of someone who
had to be independent and take initiative. And that's how I handle every project I get.
Discover new ways to develop great talent at gradsoflife.org. Brought to you by Grads of Life and the Ad Council.
It may be hard to believe, but people just like you are already saving money. FeedThePig.org makes it easy. Their simple savings plan teaches you how to start saving without going overboard, so you don't need to sell all your belongings and live in a commune.
These dungarees belong to all of us now, Tom.
You don't need to get a second job as a stuntman.
We need a new stuntman!
You just need FeedThePig.org. Don't get left behind. Get tips and tools at FeedThePig.org. Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
When I grow up, I want to be a new pair of blue jeans.
When I grow up, I want to be a kid's first computer.
When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't be.
Give your garbage another life. Recycle. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. Brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to The Cat Show. Up next, we have Nico. Nico is a member of the Shelter Pet Group.
That's right. A group known especially for their sunspot sleeping, ball chasing, leg rubbing, and of course, companionship. Just look how she struts.
It's like she owns the place.
And see how she curls up and cuddles her person.
The pitch on her purring is simply perfect.
Nice one.
Fantastic cat. But really the best way to know an amazing shelter pet like Nico is to meet one.
Visit theshelterpetproject.org today. Adopt.
Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Jill, why don't you tell the class what you did this weekend?
Well, my dad and I went in search of some magical minnows and found a zillion of them in the stream from our lookout rock. Then my sister and I escaped from an evil slug king and went back to my super twig fort for safety. Then we told stories till it got dark, and the Big Dipper led us all the way home.
Where were you, Jill?
We went to the forest. It's not that far away.
Ask your parents to take you and your friends to the forest this week. It's closer than you think. Check out discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
When I grow up, I want to be a new pair of blue jeans.
When I grow up, I want to be a kid's first computer.
When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't be.
Give your garbage another life. Recycle. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. Brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
To buy your home, you became a house hunting ace. Learned about loans, scoured neighborhoods, and asked the right questions. If you manage that, you can get your retirement plan on track. Visiting aceyourretirement.org can help. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Hi, this is Josh Groban. My favorite thing about music is its ability to inspire and nourish the soul. That's why I'm proud to work with Feeding America. an organization that inspires hope for families in need and helps nourish the 16 million kids in this country struggling with hunger. The Feeding America nationwide network of food banks gathers surplus food and helps get it to kids in need. But they can't do it alone. Find out how you can help at feedingamerica.org.
Brought to you by Feeding America and the Ad Council.
To buy your home, you became a house hunting ace, learned about loans, scoured neighborhoods, and asked the right questions. If you manage that, you can get your retirement plan on track. Visiting aceyourretirement.org can help. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
I'm little teapot, short and stout.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
No, Dad, like this. When I get all steamed up, then I shout, tip me over and pour me out.
This is WWE superstar Roman Reigns. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you.
Welcome back to the Dog Show. Up next, we have Satchmo. Satchmo is a member of the Shelter Pet Group.
That's right, a group known especially for their couch snuggling, ball chasing, face licking, and of course companionship. Now let's see him in action.
Look how he makes eye contact with his person.
That's actually known as the treat stare.
How intuitive, and now he appears to be excitedly turning in circles.
Ah, the happy dance so common with this group.
But really, the best way to know an amazing shelter pet like Satchmo is to meet one.
Visit theshelterpetproject.org today. Adopt.
Brought to you by Maddie's Fund, the Humane Society of the United States, and the Ad Council.
Okay, man, this is your time. Maybe you didn't choose this, but you're here now. You're gonna go out there and be an all-star caregiver. Cook, clean, be there emotionally and physically. You gotta dig deeper. Drive them to physical therapy, doctor's appointments, because that's what caregivers do. Don't give up. Show the world that you're tougher than tough. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Whoa, long time no see. It's me, the Rock t-shirt in the back of your closet. Dude, remember? You crowd surfed in me, man. But you haven't worn me in like forever. I get it, you're retired, but I still got some rock left in me. So take me to Goodwill, where I can really make a difference.
Your donations to Goodwill create jobs, training programs, and education assistance for people in your community. To find your nearest donation center, go to goodwill.org. Donate stuff. Create jobs. A message from Goodwill and the Ad Council.
You're not wired to have a response to this sound. But when we introduce a new stimulus, save the food. We're helping to stop food waste. Save the food. For tips and recipes, visit savethefood.com. Brought to you by NRDC and the Ad Council.
You don't need to get a second job as a stuntman to save money.
We need a new stuntman.
You just need feedthepig.org. Don't get left behind. Get tips and tools at feedthepig.org. Brought to you by the American Institute of CPAs and the Ad Council.
We are live outside the home of Joe and Rosie Goddard, where a pretty big tickle fight broke out just minutes ago. Sources say their father instigated the laughter. Let's go inside for a comment. Apparently, they have no comment. Dads, let this be a reminder that it only takes a moment to make a moment. Call 877-4DAD-411 or visit fatherhood.gov. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
A ranger station.
I'd like to report a bear hug.
Okay.
I put out my campfire and Smokey Bear hugged me.
So you drowned the fire, you stirred it, drowned it again, and felt that it was cold?
Uh-huh.
Yep, he's just letting you know you did good.
Bear hug from Smokey Bear. Status update.
I'm gonna let you go now. There are many ways to start a fire, but one sure way to put it out. Learn how you can do your part at SmokeyBear.com.
Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service, Ad Council, and your state forester. Jill, why don't you tell the class what you did this weekend?
Well, my dad and I went in search of some magical minnows and found a zillion of them in the stream from our lookout rock. Then my sister and I escaped from an evil slug king and went back to my super twig fort for safety. Then we told stories till it got dark, and And the Big Dipper led us all the way home.
Where were you, Jill?
We went to the forest. It's not that far away.
Ask your parents to take you and your friends to the forest this week. It's closer than you think. Check out discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad.
1 in 6 seniors faces the threat of hunger, and millions more live in isolation. Drop off a hot meal and say a quick hello. Volunteer for Meals on Wheels by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org. This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
Hey, this is Mac Millen. You're listening to WWSU, Dayton's Right Choice.
All right, we are back on the Life Radio Show. This is actually, I'm happy to announce two things right now. For one, I'm happy to announce that Holly Shock is in the studio with me.
Hi, everybody.
This is
Sorry.
You may hear that from time to time. That's not Holly laughing, but it's close. No,
That's my penguin porpoise combo.
Wah, wah, wah. But this is going to be the 100th episode. Not only the 100th episode of the Life Radio Show podcast version, it's the unofficial 100th episode. It's actually the Life number 94, but it's the 100th broadcast of the Life Radio Show as a podcast.
Mr. Don, quit using math on me.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
No more math. No more math. I just wanted to put that out there. It's no more math. It's also going to be the last Life Radio Show podcast for the year.
All right.
Not the last one. You look.
Well, it depends on how this one goes.
Yeah. I'm never sure which one's going to be the last.
It's always a pleasure to be here. Thank you so much, Mr. Don.
Well, thanks for coming in. It's always great to have you on the show because you always bring a whole lot of energy when you come in, and a lot I can see because the cake you made.
Yes.
With the.
I think I might have had the instructions backwards, upside down, and something like that. But yeah, it's the thought that counts. And there wasn't any thought in that at all.
Well, it's held together by icing, icing, toothpicks, candles, and love. Yes. Well, the love might be the icing. I don't know.
Oh yeah, the icing. Yeah, that's what I did in the '60s when I used to take home ec with mescaline. That's how the cakes usually turn out.
Yeah, well, that's you learned how to cook that in home ec.
Oh yeah,
the meth.
I cooked and it cooked.
You cook the meth in home ec. That's
no, not back then. That was the good old days. That's Mr. Natural and back when stuff was stuff, you know.
Yeah.
Oh well, God, that's the first thing I'm doing is talking about drugs when I get here. But I'm clean, folks. Don't worry about it. All you State Patrol people on the roads.
Yeah,
I am fine.
You got to make sure. Yeah, just highly caffeinated. And overly excited, and got your noisemaker going.
I got my noisemaker and something to blow in.
Which is good, to have something to blow in that's not a breathalyzer.
I want to congratulate you, though, for doing this wonderful show, and for Wiley's and everything. It's really cool.
It's been a weird year.
Oh, weird, yes. Weird is fun. Weird is good. Well, I don't know if it's fun or good. It's normal for me. So.
Well, yeah. I'm getting to where weird's pretty normal for me.
Yeah.
I was telling a story earlier about washing fake blood off my knuckles in the restroom of an Italian restaurant, and some guy walked in and he walked right back out.
Yeah, there was a hit already in the Italian restaurant.
Yeah, that's what he said. He said, "Man, this place is authentic."
Yeah.
I just saw Guido in the bathroom.
Guido, Italian. Was it soprano clue?
Yeah, there you go.
Guido in the bathroom with brass knuckles.
Yep, with the bloody knuckles. Well, that's film life and comedy life and radio life, I guess.
That's life. That's what people say.
Yeah, that's
flying high in April and stay. I don't know.
Something like that.
Yeah.
That's a good way to put it. I have no idea how it was just put, but that's
I don't know. Yes, I have no idea. Mr. Don, you know that.
Well, yeah, that's why I like bringing you on the show because I have no idea either, and we end up not knowing a thing together.
And I want to say happy holidays to you. Happy holidays to everybody out there, no matter what you celebrate. You know, Hanukkah, Christmas, Kwanzaa, Festivus, VJ Day. I don't care. Just happy holidays to everybody. You know. And you know, like, neat to see Santa, you know, and all that. Santa's going to see the kids, and he's got some rain. I don't remember all the reindeer. I just remember Dashboard and Blitzkrieg and Randolph the Brown-Nosed Reindeer. And that's about the only three I remember. Tiny Dancer, yeah.
And D Prancer. That was another one.
D Prancer, yes.
Yeah.
And Prancer, him and me just hang around.
Unless you're German, it's Panzer.
Panzer, yes.
Back in the
yeah, he hangs with Blitzkrieg.
Yeah, Panzer and Blitzkrieg. There you
go.
Yes. and Rudolph.
Yeah.
That's the one that's a little light in his. Yeah.
Rudolph, yeah. I did a moderately dirty joke about him last week.
We can't
do that. Yeah. No.
And I'm shocked that you would do a dirty joke about.
Well, I am shocked. That's my last name. Right. 9. That's my last 9.
9. We headed south. We headed south for that one. All right, we got a phone call coming in.
Yay.
Let's see if it's going to work today.
All righty.
Because you never know. This is Life. You're on the air.
Hey, is this Don Smith?
This is Don Smith. We have a working phone in the studio. This is so weird to me.
Your call is valuable to us.
Oh, man. So, this is, just so you know, this is David Britton, not just some random.
Well, that's who I was hoping for.
If anyone could have called and been on the air.
Yeah.
You could have, anyone who called. But
anybody that calls.
Their window.
Yeah, anybody that calls, I always put them right on the air.
Well,
we actually did an impromptu video with a rapper that was calling in to try to get an interview later on.
Oh, really? I that was great. I felt special for like one whole minute, and now it's all over. I'm like, no, I'm doing a big radio interview today. Kind of be a big deal for me. But all right, well, you know what? I still feel good about it.
Well, you should still feel special because this is the 100th episode of the podcast, and you're on with Holly Shock on here too.
Heidi ho!
Hello, Holly.
How you
How's
doing?
It going?
I'm fine and dandy cotton candy now that I'm hearing you.
Fine and dandy. I've never heard anyone say fine and dandy cotton candy before.
Well, I'm 65. That comes from the Tim Conway show. So back after McHale's Navy. So he always ended a show with that, and so that's not mine, but I'll stick with it.
Yep. So she's trying to end my show.
Tim Conway now.
I remember
Tim Conway. I remember him being on the Carol Burnett show.
Oh God, that's one of my favorites.
Yep. So, welcome to the show, Dave.
Yay!
Hey, happy to be on. Happy to be coming back to Dayton. I'm excited to be there again.
Because you're doing the Super Dope show tomorrow night.
Doing the big Super Dope show tomorrow night. It has there's all these big shows going on in the Midwest around this time of year because comedians who have moved to New York and L.A., everyone's coming back home to visit their family. So people are putting together these awesome lineups.
Yeah, it happens once a year.
I'm not saying I'm awesome. I mean, I'm not saying I'm not awesome. I'm saying the whole lineup for this show is, it's full of people who could headline a show on their own. So I'm real excited. Ryan Singer is coming in from Los Angeles. Dave Waite is coming in from Los Angeles. I'm coming in from New York. Zach Toscani from Portland. There's a bunch of people. I think they just added Charlie Hester, who sings and plays funny songs, and so it's going to be awesome.
Holy moly, this is going to be great.
Yeah, that's a monster lineup right there. So.
Yeah. It should be a big one. You guys are welcome to come if you're not doing anything.
I'll be at Wiley's tomorrow for the Christmas party. So. Employee Christmas party tomorrow. Yeah, so.
I'm one of those wonderful third shifters, so.
I don't think we'll be far away. Maybe we'll crash the Christmas party afterwards.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Yeah, why not?
All
why
right.
not indeed? I don't have anything to do the next day.
Don, can you call in for me?
What's that?
Tell my work for me and tell them I can't come in because I'm sick.
Yeah, I can do that.
Anybody that works listening to this, don't. Thank you.
Yeah, just turn it off now. We're making plans.
Yeah, it's a little late for that.
Yeah.
Don't worry, nobody listens to the radio anymore. You'll be fine.
Yeah, that's true. Especially this show. So.
I still listen to the radio all the time. Even in my car when I have a CD player and I can listen to my iTunes or whatever. I'm because you got to figure it's the quickest way to connect with a community. You're driving through some small town. I love turning on the radio and seeing what's going on in this little area of the country. I think it's amazing.
Yeah, see, I'm weird. I can't listen to the radio in the car. I have to listen to a CD player because there's too much talk. There's too much talking. There's too much talking on the radio.
Oh my God, you're totally like killing yourself right now. Like, you're the guy who should be like, yeah. You're like, I'm not into it so much.
No,
especially when they just do, what we're doing right now.
Exactly. It's
so,
just.
No one wants this.
Yeah.
There are like some parts of Indiana where you can listen to 3 hours of pig futures and stuff like that, and corn. So.
Yeah, that's just good radio right there.
Yeah.
People who don't know anything about farming were very confused about that sentence. Just the phrase "pig futures."
Yeah, well,
like,
God,
we're
that
talking
shows.
about the Trump presidency right now, right?
Yeah,
we're living in the pig future.
Yes. So we say.
I just got on to alienate half your listeners. That's why.
Oh, we're good with. I'm pretty sure most of my listeners probably aren't big Trump fans.
Yeah, let's just assume. And if they are, you don't need them.
Yeah, they probably don't understand don't understand most of what we're talking about, anyways.
Yeah, they tuned out by now.
Yeah, a long time ago.
They're just like, what are you gonna play Tequila Sunrise for Christ's sake? We're all tuning in for the Eagles.
Yep, this ain't a country station.
Yeah.
So I go with anti-promotion for the show. I actually tell people they shouldn't listen to it because I figure most people don't listen to me. So when I tell them not to listen to my show, they're going to tune it in just to spite me.
Okay. Well, screw it. I'll go with that. Don't come to this show tomorrow night. Don't come to the Super Dope Comedy Christmas show tomorrow night featuring me and Dave Waite and Ryan Singer.
That's just freaking unbelievable, though. Yeah. That's a lineup right there.
I know. It is amazing that you can get all these people, who, have done late night and have, done all this stuff. And, just because they happen to be coming back through.
Yeah, I think the last time...
Ryan and Dave both live in L.A., but they're from, I think, Cincinnati, so...
Yeah, I think the last time I saw Ryan Singer was actually on the Mark Maron TV show.
Oh, yeah.
He was on that a couple times. So.
Yeah, I always hate it when I'm the least famous person on the show. I'm not for that.
Yeah, I'm used to that because of the radio show.
Oh, yeah. Well, I talked to Dan Seabury, Dan Seabury is the guy who put the show together.
Right.
He put together a bunch of shows. And I messaged him maybe a month or so ago, and it was like, hey, I'm coming back through to do a show in Indianapolis over break. It'd be great to stop in Dayton on the way there if you want to put something together. And the next thing I know, he's put together this lineup of all these people, and I was like, "This is amazing." Although I thought I was going to be the big guy on the show, not anymore.
That's just terrible. Terrible to be part of such a big show, but not be the big person.
Yeah. No, I'm super happy to do it, and Dan's a sweet guy. The fact that people are doing all these independent shows and stuff is great. Obviously, but I don't think it would happen if Wiley's wasn't there. You have to have a good central club, and then you can build a big scene in a town like you guys have done there.
Yeah, Dan puts together a lot of good shows because he did a super dope comedy festival at Wiley's a couple months ago.
Oh,
that was
that
went
really
really
well. I wanted
well.
to do that, but unfortunately, I'm all the way out here, so.
Yeah. Yeah, it's hard to be everywhere and do everything. But
yeah, I'm trying.
Yeah, it's fun to try, know, till you run yourself into a wall or something, because that's
yeah.
That's what I tend to do.
I'm trying to finish last-minute gifts for my family. I'm super broke this year, so I've been trying to. I'm getting ready to travel to do all these shows on my way out to Indianapolis and back. But also, I'm broke, so I'm trying to make all these gifts, handmade gifts for my family. I'm I'll save some money, make handmade gifts, and then I'm oh, I forgot I have no skills, so that's not going super well.
They could crochet a Tesla or something.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. I'm trying to, even the simplest stuff. It's you can use this special kind of thread and wrap a headphone cord and make it stronger and it'll look cool. And I'm oh, that seems simple. And then like 2 hours into it, I'm like a tenth of the way through.
2 hours
like,
into it,
this is not,
2 hours into it, you've lost a finger, and
you start making a noose.
Yeah. Just forget it and turn it into a noose.
Yeah.
No, Holly's got some baking tips. She made me just a heck of a cake.
I'm not quite sure what it is. I don't know if you can eat it, but you can always throw it at North Korea. So.
Yeah, it's kind of a dirty bomb. It's mostly toothpicks and candles and a little bit of glaze
and Little Debbie
the
glaze is
I don't want to
questionable.
Know. So
I should have tried to bake stuff. Like that's the way to go. Like cooking stuff, I could have probably pulled that off. And by pulled that off, I meant like try to do it, and then my girlfriend would have come and saw where I was messing up and finished it for me.
Yeah, because sometimes you can get away with that. You can make somebody feel bad for you trying to do it, and they'll come in and they'll do it for you, and then you can still claim that you did it.
Yeah, I would legitimately try, but so far most of my projects, I've been like, Susan, can you come help me with it? Like I'm just so inept. I learned to tell jokes at one point in my life, and I'm like, one skill. That's all I
need. This will have to do.
Yeah.
I'm trying to bake, and I got batter in my underwear. I'm not sure how that happened.
That's my favorite country song.
Batter in my underwear? Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
No, that's battered in my underwear. Okay. That's a whole different thing.
Okay.
Oh, man.
You're a Louisville Slugger there going. Okay.
Okay, I should go.
Yeah, part of this. Yep, you weren't sure what you signed up for, did you?
Yeah. I was like, I always say my default way of doing things is to say yes to everything, because then you know something's going to happen.
Yeah, it may be good, may be bad, but at least something happens.
Right.
If I say yes all the time, I never make any money.
Yeah. You and me both.
Oh, but well, it was good to hear from you. We're going to have to go into take a little break here.
Okay, well, hey, thanks for having me on, and come to the Super Dope Comedy Christmas Show tomorrow, 55 Bell Street. Should be an amazing time.
Yep, that starts at 9 o'clock, 7 o'clock, which I got that here.
9 o'clock show, which
9 o'clock.
Yeah, so yep, 9 p.m.
All right, yeah, I was checking my sheet. It's on there. Monster lineup. It's going to be a great show. Since Wiley's is a birthday or a Christmas party for the employees, there's nowhere else to go. So get out to 55 Bell Street at 9 o'clock for a fantastic monster show with a lot of great comics.
All right, thanks a lot, man.
Hey, thanks for calling in. It was good to hear from you.
Happy holidays, guys.
Yep, happy holidays.
Bye.
Bye. Well, that was David Britton.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah, absolutely. You'll have to ask him. I didn't catch that.
I'm shy. I'm shy.
That's true.
Shy for about 5 minutes.
About 5 minutes. That's the limit of your shyness. Yeah. All right. I think we're going to take a little break. I'm going to find another song to play here. What do we want to hear? How about some Potter's Field?
Sounds good.
We'll go with some older potty. We'll go with some older potty. We'll go with some older Potter's Field. This is
It's a Wonderful Life, Mr. Potter's Field. Yes.
Exactly. Since it's the Christmas season, we'll go with an older one off of his first EP called Black Sunshine.
That's my favorite Christmas song.
But that's 'tis the season. All right, we will be back here shortly.
Come on.
Mondays at 9 a.m. on the Eventide Entertainment podcast feed.
All right, we are back on the live radio show for our last half hour live on for the year. So we're going to do that until people just get annoyed. That's what
yeah, we're squeezing ducks over here.
Yeah, that's all that was. That was a duck fart.
Nothing like a good duck squeezing.
Holly Shock still in the studio with me.
Hi, everybody.
Just had David Britton call in to throw out the promotion for the Super Dope comedy show this tomorrow night at 9:00 at 55 Bell Street with a monster lineup of great
Sounds
comics.
Kick butt. Yeah.
Well, like you said, that's what happens this time of year. All the comics that are out of town that are from the area that went on to bigger and better things are coming through for the holidays, and this is when people book them on shows around.
Oh my God! Yes, it's wonderful.
Oh yeah. So do we want to do a couple news stories just to finish off the year?
Don.
All right, I'm going to try to find some of them are fresh ones. I'm going to start off with this one just because it sounds fun, and I want to do the voice. There's a quote from this guy, and I want to do his voice on here because I know what he sounds like.
Okay, I'm looking forward to it.
I didn't see anything of him. I didn't see a video or anything or hear him, but I know what his voice sounds like. A 100-foot joint wasn't just a pipe dream for a group of marijuana enthusiasts in Massachusetts. On Saturday, a group of pot smokers at the Harvest Cup, a marijuana festival in Worcester, managed to make a joint that was the equivalent to 1/3 of a football field. Yeah, exactly. Keith Layham, who organized the rolling of the jumbo joint, told the Boston Globe that he and other participants, quote unquote, trained for months before Saturday's attempt to make the joint. And he told the paper, it's pretty much impossible to roll a 100-foot bone by throwing paper out there and just trying to roll it. But we get sections and teams of people, then we'll be able to do it. We'll have guys running up and down, making sure it gets connected in all the right places, bro. And that's got to be what he sounds like.
Oh, yeah.
I can't think of any. There were 40 people. 40 people worked on this 100-foot joint. It's made from 300 yards of rolling paper and 1,000 grams of weed, about 2.2 pounds.
Wow.
And one of them was heard to say, "We are now armed with mighty joint."
Oh, that is true. Oh, my. Originally it was supposed to be 80 feet, but they got so stoned they just kept going.
Yeah, they forgot what was going on. You done yet? I don't know, man.
We're in Canada.
We got any more weed? Yeah, of course. It's a pop festival.
How's that 7-story bong going?
Yep. They just when you have 40 people, I mean, you're going to have a lot of people hold that in the middle and somebody at one end to light.
Yeah, and they had the world's largest pizza for Munchies.
What would the draw be on that? That would be tough to even get a good draw. You would have to suck your lungs out of capacity just in order to.
That's like, that'd be like a story that. Now, did I ever tell you the story of Paul Bunyan and his giant joint?
Yep. Yeah. No wonder he was seeing a blue ox if he smoked a 100-foot joint.
Hey, babe.
Hey, what's up, babe?
Hey, babe.
But, I don't even see what the point would be of 100. I mean, I guess just to do it. Just
to do it?
Yeah.
It's just enough for the feds can...
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yep, and you're all going to prison.
Yes.
2.2 pounds.
Yeah, 2.2 pounds.
And it was 40 people that had to hold it. So
yeah, wow.
See, it's fine to do these kind of things, but it serves absolutely no purpose because you'd never be able to take a hit off of it.
You can say it was a joint effort.
There you go. We'll move on to another news story.
All right.
You tainted that news story with
Oh.
I'm sorry. No, that wasn't nice of me. It's the holidays. I should be nicer.
Holidays.
A skydiving Santa looking to make a grand entrance while taking an elf on a shelf to a 9-year-old girl crashed into a tree and light pole before hitting a Florida beach and breaking his leg. This is a good Christmas story. News outlets say George Crocus,
Oh. Not Krampus or whatever.
Not Krampus. Crocus was dressed as Santa Claus during a Saturday skydive to deliver toys to the Tampa Bay Beach Bums Operation Santa charity volleyball tournament. That is a heck of a name for a thing. Yeah. Tampa Bay Beach Bums Operation Santa charity volleyball tournament. Madison Spears saw the crash and later found a note from the quote, elf named Kristoff, who visits her house during the holidays, that said, as we were about to land, this big tree jumped right out in front of us. She tells Bay News 9 that Kristoff is no stranger to adventure. So at least she knows her elf.
Yes.
You got
I know from Kristoff saying, oh.
Yeah, this Crocus guy's an idiot.
Yeah. And she looked into the 5-foot pit in the ground. Santa, are you okay?
Yep. And then she proceeded to tell Santa what she wanted, because that's the important thing.
Yes.
You got to still get your presents. Santa may be laid up in the emergency room.
Yes.
But he's still got to deliver.
Oh, yes.
There are no excuses come Christmas time if
there
Santa's
no
not there.
ECU for Santa.
Yeah. So I just wonder, it must have been Kristoff that came through and saved Christmas, but we're not there yet. It's still got Santa might still be recovering. Yeah.
So Kami Save Christmas. That's one of my favorite Christmas specials.
Is that a Kamikaze Christmas?
Kamikaze Christmas, yeah, with Dashboard Blitzkrieg. We sell delivery presents immediately.
Oh, let's see. What else we got?
Here comes Santa Claus. Oh, poor Santa.
Man, that's going to...
Oh, sorry.
Oh, you're all right. You're all right. Just when you found the perfect ugly Christmas sweater, here comes word of an even tackier holiday trend: Christmas eyebrows. Yeah, the eyebrow-raising look is achieved by using gel to separate out the eyebrows and make them into peaks so that gems, stickers, and other glittery objects can be attached. The trend was popularized by YouTuber Taylor R., who posted a tutorial video last Tuesday, a shorter version of her Instagram page, teaching you how to make Christmas eyebrows, because that's what I want, is a bunch of glittery stuff stuck on my eye.
As if you don't have anything else to do. I'm so bored.
I'm so bored. Let's bedazzle my head.
Then, yes, Christmas listen. God. Oh, my God. That's just like, you can run lights through them? Imagine.
That?
You just string lights through,
string lights through your beard. That's I should have done that. If my beard was longer, I would have.
Oh yeah,
because it needs some backlighting.
Well, your beard actually looks pretty good right now.
I appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
It
look really
needs
good
to be
for
longer.
80.
I look at 100.
Not 100.
Well, 94.
Yeah, 94.
Yeah, this is number 94. So.
Oh,
but it's the 100th because I like to confuse
that math
people.
Again.
Yeah, there's that. Well, that's the new math.
New math.
Yeah, that's the new math. Math. So.
What are you saying?
It's Broadway the hard way, a porn parody to hit of the hit musical Hamilton, called Hamilton.
Hamilton.
The sex-enhanced musical, just released by Los Angeles-based porn company WoodRocket.com, purports to tell the story of one of America's greatest pounding fathers.
Oh my God.
According to the script, which takes place in, of course, 1769, Alexander Hamilton is the man who invented the threesome with the help of the two Pfister sisters, who are the only stepdaughters to do things the Schuler sisters in the original musical probably wouldn't do. Other pounding fathers, like Cummins Jefferson and James Madison, make cameo appearances, but this hornier Hamilton ends with a penis duel with Aaron Boner.
Oh, and we can't forget Benjamin Franklin's wife, Aretha Franklin. Sorry.
See, we're pushing the limits of holiday radio.
Holiday
I think,
porn,
with
yes.
holiday porn Hamilton.
Yeah. Oh, that's great, man. Now you got like all the musicals running through my head that I cannot mention. Hello.
Yeah, I don't even want to know what he's doing out there. That's one of our electricians. He's been shocked an extra time or two. I think his shock treatments aren't working anymore.
I'll give him a shock treatment if he's not
it's good
too
to see you, Scoot. Oh, so yeah, he's probably a big fan of Hamilton. He's probably he probably has the version at home. He plays the home version.
Home version, yes.
That is not God. Right. Phew.
I had the Nintendo 64 version, but
really, yeah, that's
bit by bit.
I was actually looking at. I have an old N64 at home with a couple of the games, and I saw something. I was at a bookstore the other day, and there's actually a magazine they put out about Nintendo 64 because it's like cool. For retro gamers, it's like the big thing right now.
Oh yeah,
and I have one sitting at home, and you have to buy them used over $200.
I know.
Right now.
They're actually they actually cost some money.
That's crazy. And one of the games I have is like $60.
Wow. Oh, you mean, it's worth $60?
Yeah.
Wow, that's very cool.
It's crazy. It's like this thing's been sitting around my house in a box. I should probably take it out to sell because I actually know a place I should sell it to.
Yeah.
Games Over Cincinnati.
Huh.
A friend of mine runs that down there. So
I like looking at that stuff. It's fun to look at that stuff and.
I always
like
the
stuff
old
I couldn't
games.
afford when I was young, and I look, now I really can't afford it.
Yeah, exactly. Now you can't afford anything. That's the comedy life.
Oh, like when you look at like the old front top loaded VCRs were like $900, and then you go buy. I remember a friend of mine bought Indiana Jones, the first one, and it was like $70 for the.
It was crazy back then.
Yeah.
Because we didn't get a. We didn't get a VCR in my household growing up until like almost 1990.
Ooh, yeah.
And then my dad won't let go of it now. He's got VCR stacked up all over the place because you could get them dirt cheap for a while, and he's got probably 10 of them sitting in the garage still in the box.
Oh my!
Because he's got I'd say 10,000 titles on VHS.
Oh my goodness! Yeah.
He just went nuts with them once he got in. He recorded everything.
Oh, that's cool. Well, actually, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And he's got a lifetime supply. If one VCR goes out, boy.
Exactly. You just replace it, and you still can watch all your videos.
Wow.
Yeah. Let's find another story here. What is this one? See, a lot of these I don't remember. Oh, okay. This is a fun one. Firefighters in central England were left, quote, seriously unimpressed after a YouTube video stunt went horrifically wrong. A Wolverhampton-based prankster had his friends cement his head inside a microwave oven on Thursday afternoon, according to authorities. His pals fed an air tube into the device so he could breathe.
That's using your brains.
Yeah, and he covered his face with a plastic bag. But their attempt at making a cement mold of his features backfired. After spending almost 90 minutes desperately trying to free the man from the appliance, his friends called on fire crews to deal with the consequences.
Crispy, as he's now called.
Well, I don't think they turned the microwave on. I think they were trying to make a life-size, realistic mold of his head.
But you would have,
because they're smart.
That's
an ingenious idea.
Well, no wonder their teeth are bad if they do stuff like that all day in a microwave.
Yeah, but it's one thing to stick your head in a microwave. Yeah. It's another thing to stick your head in a plastic bag in a cement-filled microwave.
Yeah. You know, there's not too much to be said about that. You know, could have been a thesis for someone. I don't know.
Yeah, well, it's pretty creative, actually.
Yeah.
But, creative in a way that, really stupid people are creative, I guess.
Yeah, probably part of the royal. The royal family's pretty cool now, so it's made the royal family.
Well, that's just because they're young ones. They're young. They're young. They're good. That's why they're cool. By the time they hit their 50s, they're going to look just like that other one. Oh, they're going to look just like what's his name? Prince Charles.
Charles.
Yeah,
yes.
and then they won't be cool anymore. Yeah. They'll just be the Prince Charles lookalike.
Prince Charles lookalike. Yes. No. Yes. You'll have bring me the royal microwave.
Yes. I must cement my head into the royal
microwave. And the diamond-studded plastic bag blue. As I wave hello to the peasants. Hello, peasants.
And of course, Queen Elizabeth will still be alive then.
Oh, yeah,
because she does not want anybody else to be in that position.
Well, the Queen Mom lived to 101 or something like that, or 2.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So yeah. How old is Queen Elizabeth now?
92 or 3 or something like that.
Oh well, she's still got another 40 years.
40 years. You know.
Yeah, she's good.
Plenty of time. By that time, the way everything's going, they'll have the United States back, at least the Eastern Seaboard.
Yeah, What have we really lost?
Yes, what have we really lost?
A woman in Bristol, England, really likes spirited lovemaking, and only ghosts need apply. Amethyst Realm. That is a name straight out of a fantasy novel.
Really?
Amethyst,
Harry Pothead, yes.
Yes, yeah. Amethyst Realm, a 27-year-old, quote, spiritual guidance counselor, says she's had sex with at least 20 ghosts and that she prefers them to men. Realm appeared on British TV show ITV this morning ITV This Morning, not This Morning. ITV This Morning is the name of the show. She appeared there to discuss what being, quote, ghosted is really like. The first experience was 12 years ago, she said, after she and her then fiance moved into a new house and she felt the presence of a strange entity. She said it started as an energy, then became physical. There was pressure. I'm not going through all that. She said she always felt safe with because there was nothing there. Mm-hmm. I had sex with a ghost. It's difficult to explain. There was a weight and a weightlessness, a physical breath, and the energy as well. Realm said she had an affair with the ghost for 3 years, but that it ended when her human husband came home from work early and saw the shadowy shape of a man through the window.
Oh, so maybe, that was a ghost.
Yeah, that was just a ghost,
I'm using parentheses, folks. Yeah. It was a ghost, yeah. You just busted that Ghostbuster, yeah.
Yeah, I think somebody's full of crap on that one.
Yeah. Damn.
Yep.
Well, she's a ghost could just appear as a sheet on top of her then.
Yeah.
I don't know, man.
She got caught with the man.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. That was a shadowy ghost there, sir. Yes.
Yeah, it was just a ghost.
It's just a ghost.
It's not really cheating if it's the undead.
Yes.
Or the dead. That's not the undead. That'd be a zombie. This was a ghost.
Oh, that would be dead.
There's a difference.
You're dead meat.
There is a difference between sex with a ghost and sex with a zombie.
Yeah, there would be. You know. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. No, whatever. Yeah. Zombies. Now, would that be technically? No, what's that? Necrophilia, right?
Yeah, technically it would, because they're dead.
A living dead? Would that still be necrophilia with a zombie?
That would be a live kind of necrophilia.
We need some professors here.
Yeah, we need some. Yeah.
When you go to your zombie area and your study area and you got all your zombies here downstairs.
It's in between semesters, so most of the zombies have gone home once finals are over.
That's true. Yeah,
they come here, young
sticking
people.
They
go home zombies. And try to cement their heads in the microwave. We have I believe we have a phone call coming through. So this could be exciting. Let's see who we got here. This is Life. You're on the air.
Hello?
Hello.
Is this a radio show?
This is the Life radio show. You're live on the air right now.
I'm looking for Don Smith.
This is him.
Hey, man, I need you to quit talking to my wife.
Not to sound. Who is this?
I need you to stop talking to my wife.
Holly?
I
did not know you were married, Holly.
I need you to stop talking to my wife.
Which one's your wife?
I was on her social media account on blackpeoplemeet.com, and I saw her talking to you. You need to stop talking to my wife. Are you Don Mandingo Smith?
I've been known as Mandingo in some circles, yes.
I need you to quit sending my wife pictures on blackpeoplemeetdating.com.
Now what kind of pictures?
I need you to, are you talking to my wife? Are you talking to my wife?
Well, I'm talking to you right now, and Holly. Holly's here too.
I need you to stop talking to my wife.
Would you like some pictures too?
Now, I love the radio station, but I need you to start talking to my wife.
I like some crayon drawings.
As long as you remain a fan, I will.
I love your music, but I need you to start talking to my wife.
I will try.
A theme here.
I think.
Holly, is this Holly?
Hi, how you doing?
Holly, how's it going, Holly? Do you know who I am, Holly?
Do what?
Do you know who I am, Holly?
Well, you're very irate at Don right now about talking to your wife. So.
I need you to reach over and smack the shit out of Don.
Sir, we're live on the air.
That's no problem.
We can't.
MasterCard, Visa, or Discover is accepted.
See, I have to bleep that out. This is how I do that.
Is this stereo? Is this left or right speaker?
Yeah. Actually, no, it's not. I don't record it that way.
I just need you to stop talking to my wife.
Okay, I'm just to be safe.
In my spare time, because I don't have time for this because I'm an NBA student during the day, and at nighttime I'm a janitor. I'm working my way up.
Is that a basketball player? Is that what the NBA?
I just need you to leave my wife alone on Black People Meet social site.
Just on that one, though.
Just on that one.
Just on that. Okay.
I'm on there, and I'm talking to the pretty white ladies here in Dayton, and I need you to stop talking to my wife.
But just on that site.
Because I do comedy sometimes also too.
I've really? That's what that is.
I do comedy just because I want white people to like me.
I can't hit them. I got a taser though.
You say a chaser?
Chaser, yeah. Chaser with my taser, yes.
I'm done. Hey, Holly, this is Ed.
Mr. Ed. How you doing?
Mr. Ed.
What's up?
It's Mr. Ed.
Well, I will make sure you won't mess with your wife anymore.
Yep.
I promise. I'll get a hold of her myself.
Yep. That's a whole different website for Holly to get hold of her, though.
Yeah, up here it's driven snow.
Well, hey, Ed, thanks for calling and scaring me. Just so you know, I think my wife has been listening to the show today, so I'm probably going to find my stuff out on the lawn when I get home. So thanks a lot, Ed.
I got a one-room apartment. You can crash with me.
Oh, okay. I appreciate that.
Bye, Ed.
You guys have a great day.
Bye, Ed.
You too. Catch you later.
Later.
Bye.
Ed John, everybody.
You know, you probably should quit talking to his wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My wife actually asked for the link to the radio show so she could listen online at work.
Oh, God. We're very sorry. This is actually a previous recorded show from 1344.
Yeah, that was just a prank. Ed was being silly. So.
Yeah, Ed was being silly. He's got many wives in different places, but not talking to Don.
Yeah, not talking to me and not on Black People Meet.
No.
MEET.
I think it's Bingo Players Anonymous or something like that.
Yep.
Sexy bingo.
Okay, we got time for one more news story.
All righty.
And I got to find a good one. There are human feet washing ashore in Vancouver Island.
Oh.
And that's interesting.
Human feet washing ashore.
Yeah, human feet. There's something with Alexa doing some stupid stuff. They're trying to use it in a court case because she recorded something. I just got a text. That's probably my wife.
Oh, how many feet did it have? Did he get a mile's worth?
13 feet. 13 feet washed up on shore at different times.
Wow.
But we're going to go with where to go. I had it.
They're not from Payless, are they?
Yeah. Yep. You really want to do that one?
No. I'm still stuck on you messing around with his wife.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's not really. This is all fantasy. This is all fun.
Yes. This whole show is fantasy. We're not really here.
We're in a little rainbow world here.
This.
We got unicorns running around the room.
That's
with microwaves on their heads.
Holly does anyway.
Yeah.
But she was eating the cake she made earlier.
Just real quick, I went to Goodwill. I went to Goodwill, and I bought a stuffed unicorn. It looks just like the one that Aggie has in Despicable Me.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
It looks just like it. It's so fluffy. It was really cool. All right, back to the feet or lady.
Okay, Thai authorities have fined 2 American tourists for public indecency for posing for a butt selfie in front of a famous Buddhist temple. The 2, who police identified as Joseph De Silva, 38, and Travis De Silva, 36, were arrested late last Tuesday at an airport in the capital of Bangkok.
They're the New Hampton De Silvas, I
believe.
Yes,
the New Hampton De Silvas. Classy. They were each fined 5,000 baht, which is about $154 US, for baring their buttocks for a picture taken last week at Bangkok's Wat Arun, the Temple of the Dawn. Which that sounds like
so they're showing their ass around a Bangkok temple.
Right, there's something else going on there.
Yeah.
Temple of the Dawn sounds like a really bad Jean-Claude Van Damme movie.
Yeah, or Indiana Jones.
Indiana Jones and the Temple of the Dawn.
One night in Bangkok and
the 2 American citizens admitted to taking the picture. While Thailand has a reputation for a racy nightlife. The predominantly Buddhist country is deeply conservative, and revealing clothing is frowned upon, while public nudity is considered offensive, as opposed to here, where public nudity is encouraged.
Yeah, it's just like sitting in here right now. Woohoo!
Right. We had this discussion last week about me wearing pants at the station. So
so they got busted for showing their butts, huh?
Yep, they were showing their booty at a Buddha temple.
Ask and they shall receive. Yes.
Ask and they shall.
Sorry.
I can't bear this anymore. Phew. Okay.
What talks in Bangkok?
Yeah. Yeah, there are way too many things to touch on in that news story.
Too many to touch on, yeah. A diorama of the whole story.
Oh, that's not good at all. Well, that's when you're mooning a Buddhist temple, the last thing you want is diorama.
No, that's what you want, yes. You can moon over Miami, but you can't moon over a Buddhist temple.
That's true, because Miami, they expect it, actually.
Or Bubba's temple in Tennessee.
Yeah, Bubba's temple. Bubba Buddha temple. Oh, on that note, I think...
Sorry. You know what I haven't done yet? There we go.
Yeah, I think you did one earlier.
Oh, I did?
You let one out earlier. And that's, well, with this story, that goes well.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's true. Explosion.
Yeah. Well, the reason you haven't is because you've had these noisemakers here.
Oh, I know.
So that's been... Yeah. Holly, it's been a pleasure to have you on the show, as always.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for calling in, Ed. David Britton called in earlier.
Oh, I know. It's wonderful.
This has been such a fun
100th
episode. Huh?
Do you fish? You can use the cake for bait.
Oh, that's true. Well, that's I don't know if...
not with the toothpicks.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd have a...
whole string of them.
Yeah, they'd come out filleted all at the same time.
Yes.
I'll take it to work and I'll set it on the table in our break room and see if anybody's brave enough.
I'm gonna put on a website on YouTube how to make one of these.
And the next time I see somebody walk through the room with a toothpick sticking out of their nostril, I'm going to know they tried some of the cake.
Yes. And have them arrested.
Yeah.
This person is seriously wrong. Something seriously wrong.
Yep. Well, thanks for coming on. It's been
Thank you
fun
so much.
having you.
Fun.
When's the next time you're doing a show somewhere?
Well, I'm going to be hopefully down at Wiley. I'm going to set up for Wiley's again for a Sunday night, but January 20th at MJ's on Patterson. MJ's on Jefferson, excuse me. Doing that special for Bravo, the charity event against domestic violence. It starts at 8. There's a whole slew. I wish I had the list with me, but it's on my site, and there's a whole slew of wonderful comedians from all around Ohio that's going to be there for the show, and it starts at 8 o'clock, and that's on January 20th, and I'll put more stuff out on that.
Awesome.
But Lee Mays is organizing that, so he's a wonderful person, funny guy, so It's going to be a lot of fun.
Cool. Well, it was great having you. That's it for us for this year. This is the last live radio show of the year for the life.
Yes.
But I am going to for the podcast sometime next week and the week after, there are going to be some best of podcasts. I'm going with best of news stories. Woo-hoo. I might do a best of with Mike Canistero. Possibly as many times as you've been on the show, Holly. You might have your own best of show.
Oh man, maybe a bust of.
Well, Well, thanks for coming on. It's been great. It's been great having you.
I love you to death. I always have fun here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, we'll see you guys next year. Have a wonderful holiday
We'll
season.
see you in the future.
Yes. This has been the Life Radio Show on WWSU 106.9 with your host, Don Smith. The Life is also available in podcast form on iTunes, PodBean, Stitcher, Spreaker, Blueberry, and YouTube, as well as on Eventide Entertainment's podcast network. Be sure to like the Life Radio Show on Facebook, and if you have any comments or suggestions, email thelife1069@gmail.com. Thanks for listening. Now get out there and enjoy some live comedy this week. You can check out wileyscomedy.com for all your upcoming shows.
Presence overwhelms me. The brutal presence overwhelms me.